Tuckerman's Ravine. When you think of places to be, hardly any visiting the state of New Hampshire would even consider taking on this place, yet many do. Placed near the tip of Mount Washington, its history carved by the slow and stubborn flow of a glacier. What's left of it now is a challenge to some, to others a local comfort, and to all an escape. The slopes that make up this fishbowl of ice and snow are not like any other man-made experience, even to the likes of well-known mountains such as Crotchet, Loon, and Gunstock. What Tuckerman's had was the lack of manual control that its conditions had. One could be treated with avalanche warnings, and snowstorms constantly rolling in, never mind the sheer 45-degree angle as the makeup of the ravine itself. A sure sign that if you are to confront this place, you better be prepared to deal with what it has to offer. Did I mention that there's no chairlift too? What goes up must come down. Yet, despite all the reasons not to go, many have and still do flock every year to experience the ravine. And given its location, snow is still present even after winter, inviting spring skiers in April and July to test themselves. An escape in the middle of April we did find. My college and high school buddies, Cyrus and Shipley, and like the many friends before us that committed to tackling such an endeavor, we would come out of it a little tired, bruised, petrified, but indefinitely satisfied. So begun the adventure, involving three idiots who like to live on the edge, and in this case, quite literally.
Okay. Pick it up under there. Pick it up twice. And then you just fix. Okay, ring it one more time if you want.
Or you want to just adjust it?
Yes. I'm just saying if you have to go up and down a few times, I think this also.
The kank. It's like every local who talks to you will just assume that you know about the kank, as you know, it's that famous in New Hampshire. And that's basically just the stretch of road that goes through like Lincoln, you know, it branches off of 93. But it's very important because that's where the kank Dunkin' Donuts is. And we've sort of made it a ritual now. Every time I go up to the White Mountains, I always stop at that Dunkin' Donuts, you know, get a coffee, go blow up the bathroom. So yeah, the kank is a nice little spot, nice little pit stop.
And I drove up, I think I drove up from Connecticut that day, or the day before. I drove up from Connecticut, which is 3 hours to southern New Hampshire, and then another 3 hours to northern New Hampshire, so it was a pretty gnarly drive.
Take a picture of this.
Just the whole scenery of northern New Hampshire is crazy looking, right? You got the big sheer mountains and everything's just wild up there. It's pretty up north New Hampshire. Pretty rugged shit.
Yeah, I got the maps printed out, and of course the morning I wake up, my mom is like telling me, she's like, oh, it's gonna rain up there, you might want to rethink this. I was like, well, this is sort of our only shot, our only weekend for the foreseeable future that we can all meet up and then head up, to the White Mountains.
So we got my stuff. We got Cyrus' stuff right here. And we got Shipley's. looks like.
This is
So who's? It's
2026.
Tuckerman's Ravine.
Blair Witch Project.
It's the Blair Witch Project. This is before we die and stuff.
Here's our up the Tuckerman Ravine Trail, down the Sherburne Trail.
Yeah. And by the way, if you want a good idea where we're going, up there to where we're going. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Funny story about the ice axe. So I'd actually ordered with my microspikes, you know, this nice ice axe from REI because some of the guides said you needed it. And
badass.
Cyrus in the parking lot almost convinced me to not bring the axe. He said, you know, I looked like a goofball bringing this thing and I was gonna be too serious.
I tried to put one on each side, like one ski on each side, so it was a little bit more balanced. But when I was moving, they would kind of like knock together, and like, you know, it would be very hard to kind of sort them out. And even when we were going down, was the harder part because I didn't have like the time to establish them like completely parallel, and they were actually like hitting the people on the way down when we were walking down, or they were getting in their way. So I'd have to straighten them out again, and they keep knocking against each other, which is kind of tricky.
So I put my pack on. It's heavy, probably like what 35 to 45 pounds with those skis on there. And you know, as we start getting onto the trail, you guys started hiking, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, these guys are going so fast. They're gonna like get to the ravine way before I get up there. I was kind of like, shit, this pack is so heavy. This is gonna be a super long journey. And you know, we start hiking up, get to the beginning of the trail. You know, it's not too icy yet, but I remember that guy coming down. We were probably hiking for no more than 20 minutes that we asked him, oh, are we close yet? And he's like, yeah, you're pretty much halfway.
We're like, almost half. We're like, well, we're making pretty good time if it's only taking us an hour to get almost. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're a little bit more than halfway there, and I think he was just fucking with us because it was 3 more hours up. Like, it was a long, long hike.
Yeah.
I feel my strip service.
Fucking amazing. Oh, 1 hour sleep, let's go.
1 hour sleep? Why did you do 1 hour sleep? Why would you do that?
2 a.m., bro. Oh, one fight.
We'd see people cross country skiing it, which was absolutely gnarly. Like going up it, skinning up it, which was pretty wicked because I feel like it's a little bit harder to actually skin up it with your skis than it is to walk up it or hike up it.
These spikes on my shoes. You got these bastards right here. Get out of my frame! Almost.
Gorgeous scenery, being in the woods. You know, the weather wasn't too bad for most of the hike up. All those waterfalls that we sort of crossed over, and I remember that one bridge that we just stopped to take it all in. You know, it didn't really seem like we were about to be skiing down any sort of huge ice wall or anything. It was actually a pretty nice day, I would say, to be hiking.
How you feeling, Shipley?
Good.
Yeah.
This is a grind, but I think we're almost there.
You almost there?
Yeah, it's just like, it's just up and over those clouds up there.
You can't see it on the camera.
It's right there.
We've been hiking for like, what, an hour? Hour and a half? We're almost there.
that was the toughest part for me, at least, because it was so steep and it was so snowy that I couldn't get much grip on anything. And if you fell down at certain points, you would fall down like the mountain. Like you'd go off the side and literally fall off. So that part was kind of nerve-wracking for me. And yeah, just getting up that part. And they told us too, like you get to the, I guess you'd call it a base camp at the top. And this is gonna be the hardest part of your climb. And there's all the not ambulance people, but you know, the people in the red suits, the medics that go up there and kind of patrol the area. Like, this is gonna be the hardest part, and it really was.
You get to the lodge. I think it's the AMC hut at Pinkham Notch or something like that. And that's whenever you can really start to see the ravine come in view. And that's whenever the adrenaline, you know, starts pumping because you can actually see the ravine. And way off in the distance, it's just this humongous, you know, glacial cirque. The huge head wall, you can see all the boulder outcroppings and everything. And then from that lodge, it's about a half-mile hike up to the base of the ravine. And I think that hike was just crazy because we were going up all of that, you know, granite, the ice. It was just so exposed, especially looking down into that gully on our left. It was like, I felt at many times if I fell or slipped, you know, you probably would have been going over the edge.
There at the summit, there's people going up. We got this nice little view right behind me.
Oh damn, bro. Fuck.
How you feel?
Good.
Yeah.
We fucking made it.
Well, yeah, we did. More people climbing up there.
I mean, yeah, we gotta do it.
Yeah, we're doing that. Let's take a chill pill.
It was kind of creepy, right? Because it was like all foggy and you couldn't really see anything. And there's just all these people at the bowl. And you can kind of see the left side of the mountain. Like before it really cleared, you could kind of see the left side. And people were just going up and they would just disappear.
So yeah, we get, you know, to the base of the ravine, and that's whenever everybody's like gathered there. It feels pretty energetic. You know, you can tell that everybody's a little bit amped up to go climb, you know, ski down. You're watching some people ski down already that got an early start to the hike, and you know, I think first it was nice to just get to the ravine, be able to put the pack down for a second and take a rest. But then we started putting our boots on, and it's like very sudden, you know, it's like very real that you're about to go.
You going past me?
And then you'd see people coming down. So it was kind of eerie in that sense. Like you wouldn't really not able to see when we first got up there. And then the wind came and kind of blew away some of the fog, and we were able to see a path that we'd actually want to go up. You know, none of them really looked easy per se, but that path on the right side was a lot more comforting than going up the really steep left side where you'd have to climb up the whole thing and go off the head wall.
Up to that point, we had been hiking up the ravine, and it's sort of, initially it's sort of a slow rise up. that I was just sort of sticking my ice axe in, you know, just using it a little bit for support. But then once you start getting up a little bit higher on the ravine, you actually had to transition to using it like an actual axe, like a pick. So I remember being in front of you guys because I had the ice axe, and you know, I was sort of kicking into that very solid snow, kicking some holes in with my boots and using my ice axe to pull myself up.
It was steep enough to be a building, you know, like it was very steep. It was practically a ladder. There was pretty much people that already kind of dug in the spots where they would go up, especially with ski boots. It's a lot easier, I think. I don't know, but you could kind of kick them in because they're like hard plastic, whereas snowboard boots you can't really kick them in, you know. So there was kind of already a ladder established, although it was pretty scary. Even with, I had my ski poles and I was going like, it was really that steep, you know.
I think it's set.
Yeah. You think it's it? Is he knocked out?
Whenever I saw that guy, I can't remember who pointed it out, but you know, you just look over and he's, you know, all the way across the bowl, and he's just sliding down in a completely uncontrolled descent. Like, they call it tomahawking, you know, whenever someone is like going head over heels, and this guy wasn't quite that bad, but he was getting some serious speed, completely just probably unconscious. And then I just, you know, I can very clearly still remember once he was started getting to the end of his fall, how he just kind of rolled down the mountain like a rag doll.
I thought the guy was probably dead because he wasn't moving. And I'm like, we're really gonna fall off this whole mountain just for a little weekend trip. But I was scared for the guy and also scared like for us to go down it. Like, it was pretty nerve-wracking after the guy fell. I'm like, oh wow, people are really falling down this mountain and, you know, not having a great time going down it.
Fuck.
It definitely added some sort of realism to the last quarter of the trip up. Like, we gotta nail this. We can't fall down or we're gonna get really hurt.
You can't even call it a ledge. It was basically just like the tiniest flat part that would fit your two skis, basically. So I remember pulling my backpack off, trying to balance on this tiny little, you know, ledge of snow, trying to just keep my balance as I'm pulling this heavy pack off. So I finally get it, you know, on the ground and pull my skis off. And I set them down, and it's like, you know, whenever you wipe out skiing on a ski mountain or anything, then it's hard enough to put your skis on due to the angle. But getting up on the ravine, it was like 100 times worse because it was, you know, way more steep. So I remember finally feeling them just sort of click in. My bindings were locked to my boots, and then I put my backpack on, and I was like, all right, this is it. There's only one way down from this point, and hopefully it's on my 2 feet.
All right, boys.
Yeah, you're doing good. Look at that.
I'm just looking down, you know, this whole time, and I'm like, man, how am I gonna get down here? Because it was so hard to find a good line down because there was all the ice, you know, there was definitely no powder up there, that's for sure.
So, gotta climb all the way up here.
I look back up and I see you guys are still up there putting your skis on. I was like, man, it's gonna take them a little bit to get down here. I hope I'm not gonna be watching one of them fall or slide down.
I was super scared, and I'm trying to put on the boots. I'm like, Jacob, we're gonna fucking die. I'm trying to kick him on, like I'm gonna kick us both off the mountain.
feel the adrenaline pumping right now. You're good? Don't shoot your pants. There we go. You good? You good? Oh, no, move. Move your ankle to a little bit to the left. There you go. Oh, a little bit more. You got it. It's so close. There, let's go. One more, bud. You good? You doing okay? I know. Dude, I'm gonna be shitting bricks when I get my board on, don't you worry. You're fine.
Go Bobcats.
Go Bob, do it for the Bobcats. QU alumni. Breathe. You're fine. It's not windy right now, so there's a better chance. Okay. Well, maybe you don't do that. Hold on. Alright, I'm gonna move it a little bit.
Ryan had carved out this little like edge, not really an edge, maybe like a half a foot, where he put on his skis before he went down, and I was just trying to like hold on there while not lean too far this way where you fall down the mountain, but also trying to put on my skis. You know, it's kind of tricky to maintain them. I think the first one was the hardest to put on because you're standing and you're trying to get into them, whereas you put on the second ski and you're already in one ski, so you know, you got at least a little grip on there.
Then, you know, I saw you guys work your way down. You looked awesome on the snowboard, like the only guy there going down on the board. So once you guys got down, I think we were all just, you know, pretty hyped that we made it safely. Having that drink was nice, but I just, you know, seeing that guy in the background on the emergency sled, it makes you definitely take another drink, that's for sure.
Something to wet you with.
So we finally got down back to the lodge, and then I think it was Cyrus was like, yo, let's just take all our shirts off and ski down the trail shirtless. And I was like, all right, if everyone else is doing it, I'll do it, even though it's frigid. I'm like freezing cold at this point.
It was awesome. We all took off our shirts and just shredded it down. It was awesome. It was a nice relief.
1, 2, 3, 4! End of the week, I'm about to blow. Breeze walking through the honky tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order up around the shops and it's away we go. Rich some throw down, get down. Order up another round of shots. Run, get drunk, get some, have fun. Get this trouble, baby, like an enough.
I was trying to enjoy it. I was taking some nice turns. We were going quite fast, so yeah. Paul.
Look at those.
The snow was real slushy. There was definitely a lot of like bare patches in some parts.
I've been holding it in through the homework week. Now it's Saturday night and I'm about to blow. So come on now, man, let me play me none of them slow songs. I need boots and bar, burning hell, raising, get up and go.
remember changing in my boots, and at that point I was just soaking wet from the rain, the wet snow, sweat, everything like that.
Imagine walking.
Sliding along to the penguin. Use the belt and your form of transportation. Quite effective, honestly. Like a little too effective. I'm honestly surprised.
He already started it, right? Like he had already started the car, and we needed to get like some snacks, or maybe like he wanted a sticker from the store place there. And he ended up turning off his car. We go in and get some snacks, come back, tries to turn on his car, and the key breaks.
So that was sort of like, out of all the things that could have gone wrong that day, I'm glad it was that. But it added another, like 3 hours wait because my mom had to drive all the way up there. So we just had to wait it out in that lodge.
Do you think after experiencing the whole thing that like it changed like a perspective perhaps, or did it like make you more grateful for like what you had at the moment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think Tuckerman Ravine is called sort of the birthplace of extreme skiing in New England. And I'd say it entirely lived up to that. It definitely gets you some serious points among some of the natives up there.
You need to be prepared is what I'm trying to get at to go up the White Mountains. And you need to be prepared in terms of like gear, in terms of skill set, or else you're gonna have a bad time. You know, you're gonna fall down the mountain, or you're gonna end up freezing to death up there.
So being able to say that I skied Tux is definitely like a +1 on, you know. So I think it was a great experience, and you know, if you're the physical capacity to at least hike up there, it's just, you know, a beautiful thing to see that ravine. And ever since, you know, we skied that, I've been up to the White Mountains probably like 15 more times. And Tux was the first time I'd ever been up there, so I think it definitely gave me like a new perspective and a new, you know, joy and love for hiking and everything. So I just love the White Mountains now, and, you know, hopefully we'll go back this year.
Awesome.